Hey Bohem, I just watched your latest video log. I was actually reading about you on Slashdot just the other day, talking about how you'd got a couple of girls to ask you for your autograph at OneTube in San Francisco, and about how you were pretty nervous about that. In terms of giving you some feedback and like not making it critical, or not, if I was going to make it critical, at least offering solutions. I'll admit, I haven't watched all of your stuff, but I've watched a couple of videos. I watched the one about Vegemite in particular. And yeah, you can probably tell from my accent where I'm from. That didn't really bother me all that much. I'll admit I'm not sort of really huge on the nationalism angle myself. You can probably tell my camera's a piece of crap. You can hardly see me at all. I'm planning on getting a new camera at some point, but it hasn't happened yet. Anyway, you'll be able to hear my voice, so you know what I'm saying. One of the things that I wanted to say, and I'm a bit worried about this because it's going to be a little bit controversial, I think, is another person I've been watching on YouTube is Ian Crossland, or Crossmac, and I've watched a couple of his videos. I haven't subscribed to him either, but I've seen a couple. And one of the things that I've heard, only really some rumours about anyway, flying back and forth on YouTube a little bit, is that there are a couple of people here, Crossmac supposedly being one of them, and another one being Lonely Girl 15, who I'd heard have actually been to drama school. And the rumour that I heard about Lonely Girl in particular, and I don't know whether this is true, but the idea being that who we're seeing in her YouTube videos is basically a completely fictional character. You know, the idea that that's not, supposedly anyway, and I don't know about this myself, but that's not supposedly who she really is. You know, that's essentially a character that she's worked on creating with the ability that she basically learned at drama school. And that's what we're seeing, you know, and that because she's this actor, she can make it seem sort of really, really real, I guess, when perhaps it isn't. And I mean, I want to say first of all that if it isn't true, I apologise profusely. But secondly, if it is true, I don't necessarily even have so much of a huge problem with that in itself. But what I would like, I'll admit, with at least with some of the other people that I've seen, is that if it is true, that we actually get told about it, that it's actually said to us, what you're seeing is a character. This isn't who I really, really am. You may not get to see who I really, really am, but this is not actually who I really am. If that's the case in the videos of these people, is what I'm saying. If they could say that, that would be really good. Yeah, because I'll admit, after I heard that, it sort of started causing a real problem, because I'd watch other videos of people and I just found myself thinking, well, how do I know that this person or this person or this person isn't an actor? You know, how do I know that what anyone is really saying is true or is really them? You know, I mean, can everyone do that, or can anyone do that on here? I think what I'd like to do is try and establish some sort of guidelines, community agreed to guidelines. These would be things that we'd agree to ourselves, whereby we make an undertaking, an honest undertaking, that if the persona, the identity, whatever it is that we're giving a person or the public, the viewing people, If that's our real self, great. But if it isn't, that we actually say that. And I'm not saying that there's a problem with having a character in that sense at all. There isn't a problem with that. All I'm saying is that I think in the interests of integrity, in particular, and honesty, so that people know whether they're getting the truth or not, you actually let them know about that. And yeah, that's, I guess, just been one of the main things sort of that's been concerning me. And yeah, if I had any advice for you, I guess, that would be it. I mean, I'm not saying that you haven't been. I don't know whether you have been or not, but my advice to anyone who does these would, or it's more like a request, a plead, keep it real, basically. Tell us the truth about who you are, what you are. If you're doing a character, hell, I don't care if you're dressing up like Dame Edna Everage, but if you're doing that, at least tell me. Tell me whether or not what I'm saying is really you, or whether or not it is a role play or a character, or it's fictitious or whatever. And hey, if you say that up front, I'll accept it, and I won't have a problem watching a character as well. I mean, I'll still have fun with that. I can do that. But I do want to know whether or not the person that I'm looking at, are they real, or are they a character? Are they just the product of someone's mind rather than what I'm hearing actually being, I don't know, a person's real life in that sense? And with that said, I'm going to actually make a bit of a disclosure about myself here. Anyone who, and I am going to reveal basically one of the worst things about myself online, something that I'm really, really not very proud of, but which goes on anyway. And that is, if you use the site /.org yourselves, do a search at some point for Petrus4, which is my sign-on name here, and basically just have a look at some of the stuff that I put in there, and I'm really not proud of it. I'm not. A lot of it is absolute toxic spew. It's basically where I really, for whatever reason, vent the contents of my intestines. I'm a really rotten human being on that site, and I'm going to be honest about this. I am a real scumbag when I'm there some of the time. And yeah, so I'm not saying that I'm proud of that. I'm not proud of that, but what I'm saying is I want to try and be really positive here, but I just don't want people to think that what they're seeing here is all of who I am, because there's a part of me that I want this to be really positive, but I'm just saying there is a part of me that really, really isn't positive at all. And if you want to go and have a look at that purely so that you know that, yeah, there's basically two halves to this person, then do that, because to me the single most important thing is the truth. There isn't anything more important than that. And I really do feel that that's very, very important for us to be honest about who we are. Anyway, that's really all I wanted to say. The other thing, Bohem, that I want to mention is, I've tried, like I think a lot of people, to figure out, why do so many people tune into you? I think I know the answer as far as the Australian thing was concerned, the Vegemite. That was really funny. A, it was really funny. B, it was really provocative. So I think you got some people tuning in just to laugh at it, because other people would have told them, hey, have a look at this, it's really, really funny stuff. And then you would have got other people replying to you saying, you're, don't mess with Australia, basically. And from what I saw, you got quite a lot of that. But I think the other thing is, from what I've seen, and I can remember thinking this even when I was initially sort of watching the first video of yours that I had a look at, and I can't remember which one it was now. I don't think it was even just the viewing numbers or even what, other people had been saying, but you do have a real charisma. There's a real aura there. There's a real sense, I think, when you're watching it, and I know this is going to sound pretentious. I get the real sense when I'm watching it that this is a great man. This guy's someone who is basically really going to go places, I mean, I don't know really how it is that you put that across, but yeah, it's there. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now, and I am probably going to get a heap of shit for saying that. I am probably going to get the biggest shitstorm coming down on my head for what I just said. But isn't it funny? And here's the really interesting thing, and this is what I found really interesting. If you cuss someone out, if you swear at someone, if you verbally abuse someone to an absolutely unbelievable degree, people will think you're really cool. People will think, oh wow, you told him, you're sticking it to the man, oh, you're really awesome, you're a rebel, or oh gee, no one can fool you, But if you really compliment someone, if you're really nice to someone, if you really praise someone, you're seen as a fanboy. You're seen as a suck-up. You're seen as a sycophant, a doorknob, not a doorknob, a doormat. All of these sorts of things, and you just get bagged and bagged and bagged and abused yourself for doing that. So there's a bit of irony as well. And Crossmac, again, if you end up watching this, because I am going to possibly attach your username to this, because this is a debate sort of that I wanted to get you involved in. I was not meaning to criticise you. I was only basically talking about some stuff that I'd heard. I'd like your opinion on that, what you basically think about, essentially trying to establish that, where we tell people what we're doing, okay, this is a character, or this is basically the real deal, this is it. Anyway, I'm going to upload this, and now that I've done it, now that I've basically thrown rocks at giants, basically, or at least as far as YouTube is concerned, I mean, look at me, I've got 9 subscribers, and here I am, I'm basically talking about these people who, yeah, should I really be doing this? That's, I guess, the question. Anyway, I will talk to you later.